Celeste is uber fun though. Like I'm really like, it's hard not to play it. It's really hard not to play it off stream too. I wonder what things we didn't pick up from the trailer. What things? Ten crucial things you missed.
Alright, what's going on, guys? The Elden Ring fever is alive once again, reignited by the dropping of the DLC gameplay trailer for Shadow of the Erdtree, and the hunt is on to uncover just about everything we can, and things already in the game that may be being referenced by the trailer. Now, we've already done one breakdown of the trailer itself, and a video covering everything Miyazaki said about the DLC in external interviews, so if you haven't already seen those videos, I highly recommend checking those out so that you're fully up to date on all the known information. But today, I want to go back into the trailer and cover several things that not only we missed, but I guarantee most of you did as well. So as we begin today, if you want to stay up to date on all things Elden Ring DLC and enjoy the lore breakdown and discussion, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and now let's get into it. One of the first and most interesting shots of the trailer is this right here, of an ornamental knight inspecting what appears to be a rune sticking upward out of the ground. And a little while after the trailer came out, the community was quick to notice lots of similarities between this rune and the Great Rune of the Unborn, both having the vertical line down the right side, although this new one having a break along the left and a small horizontal line perpendicular to the vertical one. But another point of comparison is the bonus gesture that comes with pre-ordering the DLC, called the Ring of Miquella. And if we take that the body may be the vertical line and the hands forming a circle on the left side, this may be the symbol that's being made by the gesture. But the Great Rune of the Unborn has always been a hot topic due to its striking similarity to Malenia's Great Rune. Now, given that Miquella and Malenia are bound twins, it's likely that their runes are similar as well. And because of this, it's led to a lot of theories that the Great Rune of the Unborn may be tied to Miquella in some way. Now, I'm not suggesting that, but what I do think is possible is that this rune in this clip right here is likely a sign of Miquella. And the reason this is significant is because in the interview we covered in the last video, Miyazaki said that instead of following the guidance of grace, this DLC will focus on following in the footsteps of Miquella. So is this rune our new checkpoint replacing the grace? I'm not sure I jumped directly to that conclusion, but I definitely think these are the waypoints that we'll have to follow in order to track down Miquella. But we'll have to wait and see if that's confirmed. The next scene I want to break down is this here, with a player.
You're gonna be 50, is that what you said, Paul Aviv? How many swamp are we gonna get? How many swamp are we gonna get in Elden Ring DLC? What does that mean? You've already turned 50 on April 1st. Oh, that's right. You just had a birthday. Getting older is fun, I think. It's a really good storyline. Plus, the fact that she's just topless everywhere, it's pretty funny too. Just
walking into this ruined cathedral and approaching this NPC on a throne. It's almost entirely destroyed with broken benches, wood and papers littered all over the floor, and it looks very similar to the entrance room of Raya Lucaria. But now that we know the DLC takes place in the present time, who exactly is this NPC? Many people were quick to point out similarities between the NPC and the
It takes place in the present time. I fucking told y'all, because do you remember me getting the Ronnie ending? And I was like, Ronnie is a bitch. She's evil. No one believes me. This bitch is evil. Something fucking is up. Bitch, it takes present time and the world's all fucked up. I didn't go into the stars for like some beautiful like experience for the rest of my days. The world is fucked up. This bitch is a fucking liar. I told you guys.
Statue that represent the Corians, and we can see quite a bit of similarities here, although more so differences. Although the hat they wear is generally the same shape, along with the wrapping around the face, there's a massive difference in the headdress. Now, one thing that is fairly similar is the same V ornamentation on the robe. The one in the lens between is much thicker. Some other minor differences include that the NPC in the trailer is wearing a belt, while the statue has a second cloak fastened with a brooch. But despite that, I still think the character we're looking at here has association with the Lucarians. Take a look at these windows in the back, specifically the design within the circles. They're identical to the windows we can find in the Church of the Cuckoo, which is the room we talked about earlier, the first room upon entering Raya Lucaria, and also happens to prominently feature the exact statue we were mentioning. Now, given that there was a battle between the Cuckoos and the Carian royals, we can't say for certain where this NPC's allegiance would lie, but we do know that when it comes to the Carian royals, many of them are completely missing from the game, with seemingly no explanation, some of which include Carian princesses like Ronnie, so maybe we'll meet several of them in the DLC. And the final thing we notice about this room is that the hanging torches aren't purple fire, but instead they're purple crystals. We do learn about purple glintstone after all. Now let's take a look at this fire boss, who the community has dubbed as the Wicker Man. A Wicker Man is reportedly a form of sacrifice performed by Celtic druids, where people were placed in a large cage and set ablaze, forming a giant effigy of a man. And Miyazaki did directly state that that is the inspiration, and that what this boss is a form of torture. But did you take a close look at the design? Because this thing is weird. The primary contents of this creature.
Wow, I didn't even notice that. It's all bodies in there. That's the crazy thing about these games, is because remember those things that look like centipedes? And then there was like the viral clip of somebody who zoomed in on a picture and it was like hands and shit. Like, I would have never noticed that was people until just now. That's like...
Are people, but they're not the only ones. Taking a close look, we can see a horse attached to the cage, even the head of a fire giant attached at the hip, as well as a dragon head close beside it. So it really makes you wonder how strong this thing's gonna be. But it makes me wonder even more about the people commanding it. Those who devised it in the first place, brought down multiple fire giants as well as a dragon, and just what the relation to the lands between is, because that design is crazy. Whenever the trailer dropped, there were also a lot of other things that dropped as well, including a gallery on the official website containing images that did not appear in the trailer. Firstly, we have this shot of the player wandering through a lush forest beneath some ruins. We have a side shot of the Wicker Man walking, and this gives us a new look at some of the enemy factions, characterized by black and gold and the symbol of a 6-branch tree. And I'm gonna need that hammer he's wielding. But this looks to take place in the very first open area that we saw in the trailer. The next screenshot that was not in the trailer is this new troll enemy, wielding what looks to be some kind of animal leg, or petrified wood, I can't really tell. But the fact that this guy is not in the swamp is a big wasted opportunity, I gotta say. Next, we have an actual swamp screenshot of a new enemy that we didn't see, one that looks extremely interesting, but let's all say a quick prayer that it's not another winter lantern, because if these guys have some kind of frenzy vision, then this swamp is going to be a nightmare. And the final...
I bet you what's gonna happen is that boss is gonna randomly have its head be like and it's gonna suck over top of you, and then you're gonna be stuck for a moment. That's what it looks like to me. This, I don't know, those just look funky, and they kind of gross me out because they look like little worms.
The final image that did not get shown in the trailer is this new fan favorite enemy, some kind of glowing spirit worm. This whole environment looks beautiful, and this guy just looks like a new best friend, so hopefully we don't have to kill him. Now let's talk about this monk character we can see, the one that's probably turning himself into a sword. We don't know much of anything about this guy aside the fact that he shows up in the painting earlier, giving him a sense of importance and a bit of history. And when I first saw this guy, immediately I thought back to the statues along the path to Leyndell, depicting old monk figures amidst a variety of saplings. Now I definitely wouldn't go so far as to say the figure in the statue is this boss we see in the trailer, but according to Miyazaki, the Land of Shadow is where the Erdtree was birth, and where Queen Marika first stepped foot, a culture separate than the lands between. So I do think these monk statues could be commemorative of that culture and their practice of birthing Erdtrees. So that's a theme I'm going to keep my eye on when I get into the DLC. But now that we're this far into the video, it's time to jump down the Mesmer rabbit hole.
Wow,
and man, are there a lot of theories going around. The topic of dragons, snakes, and red deserves an entire video of its own, which will be coming at a later time. But for now, let's touch on a few details we can see. Starting off with this shot here. We can see a statue behind him, but in order to make out any detail, we have to blast the exposure up, and even then it's not super clear. But we can make out a woman holding a baby with rings around her arm, and I wonder who that could be. Now, granted, of course, it's not confirmed yet, but I do think it's a safe assumption to say that Mesmer is a demigod. But let's look at a few other things. In the official key art, Miyazaki confirmed that the throne he sits on is identical to the Elden thrones we can see in Morgoth's cutscene, in order to represent that he's equal to the demigods, and that we'll learn why he was erased from history. There are plenty of theories going around, ones we'll touch on in a later video, but it is possible that not everything about Mesmer has been erased. One of the attacks we see him do in the trailer is summon up many spears out of the ground, and the shape of these spears is very interesting. The spears have a sort of arc under the blade, with a few off-shooting spikes and a swirling motif down the handle. And a comparison that's been getting thrown around are the very mysterious spears that are impaling the giants in the mountaintops of the giants, and these have been an anomaly since the game released. Now, if we get into the gritty details, these spears are not the same, but they are similar, mainly due to that arc guard. That alone is not enough for me to say that Mesmer was involved in the war against the giants, but it does get interesting when we consider other elements in the area. The red cloaks of the Thorn Sorcerers and the overall nature of this area invoke a lot of the same themes we see in Mesmer, and given that Mesmer was erased from history, he would have had to do something terrible, something like commit a cardinal sin, and the only one we know of is burning the Erdtree, and the only flame capable of that was right nearby, which makes it also fascinating that we see enemies in the trailer carrying 7-pronged candles that look very similar to the Candle Tree shield, a design that, like Mesmer, was forbidden in the lands between, representative of a cardinal sin. But the final scene I want to take a look at today is the very end of the trailer, the shot of who we believe is Miquella raising a hand towards the shadow tree. And take a look at the tree itself. At first glance it may appear to be the exact same as we've seen before, but upon closer inspection you might notice a difference in the way it looks here versus the beginning of the trailer. It could just be a trick of the light, but it looks as though it's missing the sap that's running out of its trunk. So could that be one of our objectives in the DLC? To cure this tree? I think it could definitely be possible, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways though guys, that is going to do it for the video today.
Bro,
we are only beginning to scratch.
There is so much to unpack of this lore. Like, I have a book, but I thought it was the lore book, and it's not for Elden Ring. It's for Dark Souls, but I should get a book right now. Does anybody know the book? I feel like I want more information. Elden Ring lore book. Let's see. Strategy guys. I have the art books. Where can I get like the lore, like the full lore? Yeah. What is it? What did you say, Jay? Each is about 30 to 60 minutes in length. Oh, Vita Vidya on YouTube. Hold on. Oh, it's Vidya. I have no idea how to say that. Elden Ring, The Book of Knowledge, Volumes 1 and 2. Bam, fucking bam. Okay. Elden Ring, The Book of Knowledge, Volumes 1 and 2. Oh my god, guys. What if I get it in like the next 2 days? And then I can read it to you guys. Elden Ring, The Complete Guide. Oh, it's not on... It's not on Amazon. Let me see. Elden Ring. Yo, who are these random people saying the craziest shit? The Book of Knowledge, Volumes 1 and 2. Oh, it says I can get a PDF. I know, right? Elden Ring official strategy is the only thing that's coming up. Hold on. eBay. Let's see. These strategy books are like super crazy, huh? Any owners of the Book of Knowledge? Oh, is this like a coveted thing? The Book of Knowledge? Is this like a thing? I'm gonna have to get on eBay. Oh, check my DMs. Yes. I want to buy it right now. Ah, here we go. Volume 1. Future Press. Oh, it's so much. Okay, that's volume 2. Way cheaper on this. On eBay, it said it was $80. So that's nice. Okay, let's buy it. Let's see if I can get like, sorry, this product is unavailable. No. I'm gonna have to get it off eBay for $79. Delivery March 30th through the June. I want an earlier delivery. $84. Let's see. I would do that. March 30th through June. This is the same person. People are asshats for buying all of them, and then like, it's not cool. March 30th to June. I'm gonna just have to wait to read it, I guess. That sucks. 79 is reusable, but I want it earlier so I can read it earlier. This is a random website I've never heard of. Buy now. Can I ask your next live, Adriana? Tomorrow, anytime around 4:30. Should be 4:30, but okay. Go to checkout. Maybe I can ask for expedited. I want to be like super prepared. I want to know what's like happening. I want to be the encyclopedia of Elden Ring. Update billing address. Invalid name. Here we go. What did we do when we like had to type everything in? Like, what did we do when we had to type things in on the TVs? Right? Like, remember, thank you for shopping. Continue. Remember when we would like, we'd have to like type in the passwords and it'd be like so slow to sign into shit. And then like your email. And then finally we got like the voice controller so you could voice it. And then we now only have to take our phone and it even signs into like iCloud or iTunes and stuff like with just a QR code. No, just like the older TVs. So my older TV in my one living room, I need to get a new TV because the speakers are blown, so it sounds a little funky. But it doesn't even have Smart Hub on it, right? So like I had to put my Apple TV in because I couldn't download any apps on it. It had the weirdest apps. And I was like, what the fuck? I spent like days being like, this shit's broken. And then finally I found like a Reddit that was like, if it's before this, it doesn't have the ability to download things, right? And I was just like, what the fuck? And then I just thought about it and I was like, wow, like just buying something was like one click. I literally clicked one thing, typed in my address, and I didn't even type in my address. I clicked it when it popped up, address, and then I just typed the side to pay. Like, that was 2 clicks to pay. That's wild. And it makes everything so fun to buy. You're just like, so quick, peace out. It's kind of bad. Don't get me started. I everyday email and internet. Oh my god. I love the Samsung Smart Things. I can totally control my TV from my phone. Oh, I should get that. I do have that on my TV, on my fridge. I don't have it on this phone. You know what's so crazy is I have these really expensive headphones that were like $350, and they block out things, and I've had them for about 4 or 5 years. And for the longest time, so up until my trip to Germany, I never downloaded the app. Yeah, Bose. So I was only like using the side for volume, and then like I couldn't get it to unpair from my iPad to my phone. And then finally I read to get an app when I was like, what the fuck's wrong with these things? And then I got the app, and like you can slide for phone calls and volume, and like there's all these finger things that you do just like on the side. It's all touch. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I've had this for 4 years and I've used like 1% of it. So recently I've been downloading apps to things because I didn't do it for the longest time. Oh my God. Yeah, I've been working out a lot. And I'm eating pretty much regular meals. Like healthy, but I'm eating regularly. So I think with hypothyroidism, it's helped my metabolism a lot. You sound like my mom. Times are changing. What's up, console and docs? Okay, I want to watch another video.